Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Okay, so, where do I start? Okay, this week was heftig. Crazy. I finished my second session this week and everything around it. Everything around it is very interesting, disturbing, difficult, beautiful, hard. I don't know. Let's start with last Monday, because I had my evaluation. I was a bit nervous because, if you remember, my last video ended with I'll have to wait and find out what they're gonna say to me about the whole recording thing on Monday. Well, the taxi thing, I'm going mad. I want to burn something. It's making me so powerless and angry. I called last Friday, I need to get in the hospital at 9:30 because I have a very important meeting. I have to be there. I said it in the app. I even, normally it's 8:45. I said it's at 8:30. I thought I don't care if I'm 30 minutes early. I want to be on time. And every time they're 20 to 30 minutes early, and this time, of course, 15 minutes late. So it took me a bit to get there, and I came in the treatment center at 9:45. So 15 minutes late. I did send them an email around 5 minutes before time. Sorry, I'm not gonna make it. I'm in a taxi. I'm doing my best. I'm on my way. And thank God, they said, no problem. Thanks for letting us know. We'll just move everything 15 minutes forward. That's okay. Whew. If you have said that before, I wouldn't have been so. But anyway, I'm also a little bit passive aggressive, so forgive me for that. But anyway, we sat down. I came in the treatment center. We started with the evaluation. We sat down. The male nurse was there, and I say male nurse because he's the only one. So I just refer to him as the male nurse because he's the male nurse. The nurse that's still learning to be a doctor was there, and my doctor. So we just sat down, and she said, well, we want to talk about your time here, about your treatment. We want to know how you think it's going, and we want to discuss what's the next path, what we're going to do. And we want to talk, you probably already heard about it. We want to talk about the recording thing. I said, are you kidding me? Yes, I've heard about that. She said, but we can start with the evaluation. I said, no, we're not going to do that. No, I want to get this off my chest. I want to get rid of this feeling because I want to say something about this. So I took my space and I stayed nice and calm but firm. And I said, you cannot do this to people. I mean, I don't get it. You guys, you already knew, because in the intake interview, I already told you I was going to do this. Well, she forgot. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for forgetting. I feel very special. And I'm just a little bit mad, so just let me ramble about it. Okay, I know you see a lot of patients and whatever, but I think this was a very important thing. Like I told in the first interview, I also said about how it helped me in my last treatment, and she just kept repeating the things. So I said, I totally understand. I already said it. I'm not going to film anyone. I'm not going to use the audio. I just don't get it. Why? I said, why are you guys making this such a big deal? I just gave them the link to my YouTube, watch it for yourself. It's just my opinion. I don't pretend to be a doctor or a healthcare, whatever. I'm not even pretending anything. I'm just me, and I'm telling you how I experienced this whole treatment and my sessions. They got the feeling that they were doing me short, that there was maybe more that they could do, like a unit to me as a patient. But I said, well, yes, because there's a lot of clinical information about this treatment, but not much personal experiences. What do the patients encounter when they do this? What do they feel? What can they expect? And of course, with esketamine, we come to that later, you can expect anything because it will always go different than you thought it would go. We just talked a little bit about it, and I said, I totally understand, but please, at least in my case, don't do this again, because I take it home with me, and I'm gonna think about, I did something wrong. Oh my gosh, I did something wrong. Again, story of my life. I've heard my whole life about, I always hear about all the things that I did wrong in my life. So my brain immediately went to, oh my gosh, I'm fucking this up. I'm doing it wrong again, and they gonna stop the treatment. What else is there for me to get me through this depression? What if this is kind of a bit of the last thing for me, the last bit of hope? So what if that's gone? So my brain went to a place I don't like to go, but they don't understand that, because they just close the door when they're finished and they're going home to do their own lives. So I just said, please don't do this. Don't make things bigger than they are. And they understood it. They thanked me for giving it back to them. And well, I'm not sure if they're going to do anything with it. But anyway, I could say my piece. Evaluation, long story short, normally it's the other way around, but everything's okay. They can see in the, all the questionnaires, they can see that there's a little bit of progress. Of course, I also see a little bit of progress. I feel different. I feel more emotions. Oh my gosh, telling you more about that in a minute. So yeah, and I was kind of hoping that they would, I always say prolong. I don't think that's the word, but they're gonna enlarge. Oh, no, also no. Extend, yeah. So we decided that we're gonna extend the treatment the way it is right now. So for the next 2 weeks, it's gonna stay 2 times a week. And after that, we're gonna have a little evaluation, like not like this, but like a little one. And we're gonna decide if we're gonna go to the maintenance phase or talk and see if anything else is possible. Maybe even extend this 2 times a week, a little bit longer. It's in the future. We'll see it when we get there. Yeah, I was very happy with how that went. Well, they all left. Bye-bye. I had my treatment. And I was kind of prepared, I thought, okay, let's see what's gonna bring. I try not to expect too much. I'm hoping, because I still want to go back to that little mirror square monitor screen thingy. But anyway, I had my music, my mask, everything. We did the whole riddle, you know it by now. Yeah, I think after 20 minutes, I just, meh, I didn't feel it, no. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just meh. So I went home, did my thing. The thing is, I start to experience more and more around the sessions. And not in the sessions, but more around it, the days after. And I'm starting to feel so much more emotions, and I don't know what to do with them. Like, for real. First they came in little waves. Like, hey, I can see them coming, and oh, I know where this emotion is coming from. And now it's just like a damn tsunami, just roaring in and like overpowering me, and I don't know what to do with it, and I just feel so overwhelmed. There are some other things in my life, well, at least in my hubby's life, with his family at the moment, that is, well, difficult, not important for now, but anyway, so I can see that it's hurting him. I can see that he's having a hard time with it, and I just feel very outside of it all, and there's nothing I can do, because I'm no part of his family, unfortunately. And I'm okay with it. I'm sad about it, because I think in-laws can be great, but I respect everyone's belief system. And anyway, I just feel a little bit left out, and of course it's not my family and I don't have any real contact with them, so, but I feel a little bit powerless. I have a very strong opinion. Do you, Chewy? Yes, I have a very strong opinion about everything, but about this too, and also because it hurts me a little bit. So when I just shared that with my hubby, I felt this bucket full of emotions, like filling up, and it just gushed over the edge. And I just said to him, like, okay, just leave me for now. It's not your fault. There's something happening in me, and I don't know how to deal with this. So the whole situation triggered it, it just triggered it. It came rushing out, and I'm like, what? So I started crying again. Like, my hubby, he's so sweet. I was on the couch, like, swiping on my phone, not looking at my phone, but, swiping, like, and he was behind his computer, he was working, He works from home most of the time. So, and he was just, I was swiping and I started to cry, and snot was like going everywhere. And so he got up, he stood up, he walked through the kitchen, got this paper towel from me, and he walked to me like without saying anything, just handing me the paper thingy and thank you. And he's like, okay, do you want a hug? He's like, without saying anything, like trying to figure out what I need. So, but in the moment, just let me. I'm not very good with hugs and cuddles and kind words when I'm full in emotion. Yeah, like issues. Yeah. Anyway, afterwards he gave me a very big hug and we talked a little bit about it, and it was all good. But he's so sweet. He's the best. He's yeah. So kudos for Jan. Yay. Anyway, so yeah, and I have to admit that whole feeling, those emotions, I felt like pain, sadness, joy, anger, a little bit less anger this week. Most of the time I felt grief. I'm so damn sad about so many things in my life. And I'm like, why? Why did all those things happen to me? And it's not one thing. I mean, everybody has their things in their lives. Crazy. It's disaster after things I shouldn't have gone through. Things happen to me that should not happen to anyone. And I've suppressed it with drugs and alcohol for so many years that now I'm a 40-year-old experiencing emotions kind of for the first time. That sucks. I mean, like, it sucks. I got addicted when I was 12. I stopped all those shitty things, like 3.5 years ago. And of course I had emotions before, they were never regulated. Anyway, I also tried to record an episode for you guys with a little bit of more information about me, about my story. And I tried to film it. When I was editing it, I just thought their story goes everywhere. I have a hard time deciding what I want to share with you. And my emotions are going everywhere and my thoughts are also going anywhere. So let's go, Chewy, go back to where we were talking about. Treatment. Let's go back there. Okay, so first treatment, anyway, emotions, crying at home. And today was the next one. I was totally ready for it. I found my VR set, my Quest 2. I found it somewhere upstairs. I had it for years, but I forgot about it. And I thought, let's see if there's anything that can help me while I'm having these sessions. Because I know that there are apps and I found one, it's called Float, and you're like in tunnels or mandalas, anyway, like colors, and it's very interesting to see that in like 3D, like in real life thingy-ishy. So I thought I'll take that with me. I'm gonna try that, gonna do some music, gonna lay there. The weather's nice, I'm totally up for this. Let's do this. We did all the things that we normally do. After the third puff, blood pressure, she left me for 40 minutes. And I think after 5 or 10 minutes with this VR thingy on my head and my music in, and it was, wow. Okay, I said it before, I need some form of stimulation, but this was too much. I got so overstimulated that I panicked. So even though I removed the VR set and I unplugged my ear thingies and I just sat on the bed, what just happened? And I panicked so much that I wanted to go. So I pressed the alarm button and I thought, okay, what's this feeling? Because I've experienced, the fight or flight feeling, but I always fight. Always, like full on. I'm like, but this time, for the first time ever in my life, I wanted to flight. I wanted to run away as fast as I can. And it scared me. It scared the shit out of me. So the nurse came in and we talked for a little bit, but she said, I cannot let you go yet. We're 20 minutes in. I have to take your blood pressure in 20 minutes before I even think about letting you go home. Try to de-stimulate, try to collect your thoughts, try to relax, just try to close your eyes or listen to some meditation. And I was thinking like, shut up, woman! Oh my gosh, weird. So she left again and I just sat on the bed looking through the window to some geese that were walking outside, you know, on the grass. There's a little water and thingy. I just thought, okay, I'll have to collect myself again, take a deep breath. So I waited for another 10 minutes and then I put my shoes on and pressed the alarm button, and I said to her like, okay, I'm calm and collected, but I still want to go home, so can you please take my blood pressure? We talked for a little bit because she needed to be sure that it was safe for her to let me go home because they're responsible for me. So yeah, I got finally a taxi that brought me home in one go. Anyway, I got home and I just start crying again. I feel so overwhelmed and emotional. There's so much grief and sadness that needs to get out of there, that I've been carrying with me for so many years, that I've been suppressing for so many years. But I find it really hard to deal with this by myself. I've never learned how to deal with it. I know how to talk about them, but feeling it, I kinda hate it. And I'm very happy that it didn't trigger any addiction behavior, because last week there was a moment I was a bit scared, like what if it's triggering my need for, you know, craving for drugs or craving for alcohol. But I'm very happy that it didn't. It don't. So I came home, I don't know what to do. So I went to the forest for a walk with the dog. When I came back, I don't know, I looked into the garden, I thought, wow, it's a beautiful day. And, you know, we have a very large, or at least a very long garden. And the first piece is grass. And there's a little shed with a little place where I can sit. And I thought before I go and sit there and just stare into the abyss, I'll go all the way to the back in the garden. There's this 25 square feet of garden that we have plans for it, but hey, we are saving up money for that, and gosh, we try to save up for a lot of things. I wish I had more money and was less pretty, but hey, you can't have everything. But I just walked to the end, and all the way at the back of my garden, I look out on the fields, and all the way back at the fields is forest. And although the farmer hasn't put anything in the ground yet, so it's like dirt, but still, it's peaceful to stand there and just be with nature for a second and collect my thoughts. And then I just sat down on the little bench at the shed, and I think I sat there for an hour thinking, crying. So yeah, it was a very emotional week for me. Treatments were blah. Treatments were blah. And that's the thing, I got a little bit frustrated. I thought that I kind of like knew, because this is like my 8th session, so I thought I know what I need to do, and it just went totally different. And the nurse said, yeah, people who have control issues don't like this treatment, because there's no control in anything. You cannot like predict how a session will go. You can only just let it happen and go with it. So yeah, I need to collect my thoughts, I need to collect my feelings, I need to talk a little bit more about them with my hubby, and I'm sorry to not tell you about all the beautiful things I wish to see. This week, no crazy colors or weird waves, but raw emotions and learning to deal with them, or at least go through them and let them be. I do enjoy making these videos and editing it, and you know, it takes me a lot of time, but I really enjoy it. So thank you so much, and let's see what next week is gonna bring. I wish everybody a very good weekend and hope to see you next week. Bye bye.